This is your brain. This is your prefrontal cortex right up here, your forehead area. And your prefrontal cortex is responsible for thinking, good decision making and stuff. And then this here is like your lizard brain, for lack of a better term. Instincts, fight or flight, where you're just surviving. Well, when you are triggered and your fight or flight stuff starts dumping out into your system, then this flies up and it's no longer working. So then you're just going on instinct. You're going on your lizard brain and your thinking brain isn't working very well. It takes 20 minutes for this part of your brain to come down and start working again. That's why you need a 20-minute break. 20 minutes breaks are very, very important to this healing method. Hopefully this helps somebody that is dealing with FND, maybe feeling bad about themselves, feeling bad about how little they can do. These breaks are really important. This is a key. The 20-minute break as soon as you feel symptoms coming on, or as soon as your first symptom presents itself. As soon as you can possibly take a 20-minute break, when you feel all that fight or flight stuff, take your break. And it gets so frustrating sometimes that you might feel like crying. You might weep. You might cry because it's interfering in your life, and your soul wants to do so much more and knows you should be capable of doing so much more if you were healthy. But you got to stay strong and remember that even if you got to take a day in your pajamas, maybe you got to take a day looking like a hot mess, maybe you got to take 20 minutes away locked in a room, it's okay. This is what's healing you. It's actually healing you. When you are diagnosed with FND, what has happened is your brain has made a pathway from at least for me, from the emotional center to the movement center. It's made a pathway that should not be there. And so in my mind, the cure for that is to erase that pathway. And you also want to reinforce and use the pathways that are appropriate to use. Because you can think of it like this, all right? Let's say there's an animal trail in the woods. If it's a little bunny trail that's been used one time, basically it's barely there. And if it's an elephant trail that's been used by a whole herd of elephants every day for 5 years, that thing is set, and it's going to take a long time for that to get overgrown compared to the bunny trail. Now, a trail in the woods will get overtaken by nature, and it'll be faster or slower depending on how much it's been used. So for example, that bunny trail, that's going to get overtaken like fast. But that elephant trail that's been used over and over and over and over for a long period of time, that's going to be a lot slower. But nature will take over. Nature finds a way. You have to remember that the largest percentage of the decisions, the things that you do every day, the largest percentage of that is governed by your unconscious mind or your subconscious mind. And that's habit. It's up here with this little part of you, your conscious mind. You make maybe 5%. I don't know the exact number. I want to say 5% off the top of my head. You're making 5% of your decisions every day with your conscious mind on purpose. And all those decisions, they get filtered down into your unconscious mind. And after a certain period of time, you form what's called a habit. After you've made the same decision up here with your conscious mind over and over, then it comes down here. Now it's a habit. And so when, let's say 95% of your stuff every day is governed by your subconscious mind, that subconscious mind is looking for the easiest route in your brain, the easiest animal trail to take. So let's say your subconscious mind is on an ATV and it's looking like, which way are we going to take from this point to that point? And it sees a little bunny trail over here that's been used one time. And it's like, nah, I can't really fit my ATV through there. It doesn't look that easy. And then over here, it sees this big elephant trail that's been used for 5 years. And it's wide open. Yes, I'm going to take that. That looks easy. That looks like the trail I'm supposed to take. My conscious mind has taken this so many times. I'm just going to take that trail. And so every time that your subconscious mind takes that trail with a habit, that trail gets more worn and more worn and more worn. So in my thought process, what's happened with FND is that your subconscious mind thinks that it should, when it gets a signal from like, hey, this girl is really overwhelmed. And for the past year, when she gets really overwhelmed, we've taken this trail that leads to falling on the floor. That's what we're going to do. I think that's what we're supposed to do because that's what we've done for the last year. No, that's not what you're supposed to do. But your unconscious mind doesn't know that unless you spend some time here with your conscious decision-making process. And now how can you do that with your thinking mind if your thinking mind every time you get fight or flight, it just goes flying up and it's not working anymore. And all you have is your subconscious, your instincts, your lizard brain, if you will. Well, you have to catch this thing before it's all the way up. So that means when you start to feel it in your body that you're about to go crazy, like I'm about to have symptoms, there is a definite feeling in the FND state that comes on before the symptoms start to express themselves. I would describe it as, for lack of a better term, like within your muscles, like your muscles are about to do something crazy, but they're geared up for it and raring to go. Or maybe they're about to just like onto the floor, whatever. Just ask yourself how you feel right before your symptoms start expressing themselves, and then memorize that feeling, whatever it is for you. For me, I was able to learn that feeling, and that really helped me for a long time. I didn't always catch it right then. Like, I didn't always take a break right then. So maybe after the first symptom or two expresses itself, then you know, hey, I have to take a break. The earlier that you can catch it, the better. If you can catch it before your first tremor or before your first fall, just when you're feeling that terrible feeling, or maybe you catch it after you fall down for the first time, or you almost fall down for the first time, take a 20-minute break, because your brain needs to come back together. Your conscious thinking mind needs to be able to work again. And when your conscious thinking mind is working, you will be able to tell your body what to do instead of your body telling you what to do.